Welcome back, you guys. I just made a video about dreams, and I want to talk a little bit more about it because there's so many helpful things about remembering your dreams that I wasn't able to mention in the short video that I made today, which I will link. And one of the things is that, you know, it's not always easy for many people to remember dreams, but if you practice this, I can tell you with certainty that you will have such ease of it that you won't even remember what it was that you dreamt when you woke up, but you'll get to either your device, which you did an audio recording of your dream in, or you'll get to your paper and it will feel like Christmas morning. You'll be like, oh, I'm so excited. Didn't remember that, but now I do. So you can get to the point where it does not disrupt your sleep and you simply just fall back asleep and you have this great surprise every morning. And it's such a wonderful thing because dreams are there for your soul's evolution. You guys, first of all, let's talk about how to remember them. So before you go to sleep, it's really helpful to ask to remember them, to say to whoever it is that you speak with, please help me to remember. I really want to remember tonight. And then to raise your vibration to the love planes and above. Okay, so you open your heart in love. You can even chant the word love, or you can chant the word Hugh, actually, which is another ancient word for love or God or all that is. And then when you go to sleep, you might wake up. Now, that's the moment where you have to remind yourself very briefly, I'm going to do this, okay? And it might be an effort for the first few days, but then it will become a rote normal thing like you brush your teeth, right? Okay, it will become so normal for you that you won't even think. You'll just go right to that phone, text yourself an audio clip of what your dream was, and put it down and go back to sleep easily. Or you'll write whatever is good for you. In fact, there are something called dream pencils or pens where they have a light on them. So you can click on that pen and the light will come on if you don't want to turn the lights on and disturb someone who's sleeping in the room with you. Okay. And that goes for the same with your phone. It's pretty simple. No one's going to be much bothered by that, especially if you have the volume off when you turn your phone on. So these are a couple of ways to do that. Now, the benefit and the benefits, I should say, are huge, and I'm going to detail several right now. First of all, it is one way for you to connect with deceased or translated into the other realms loved ones. You can talk to them nightly. It's as if your relationship never ended. You truly can have a relationship continue with people who've left their bodies. Now, the longer it's been that they've been gone, the more involved they become in the other worlds, dimensions, planes of existence. So you might not spend as much time with them, but you can meet up with them, and it is a wonderful thing. So these are soul travel experiences where you go to the different planes where they are. So again, that is very useful to raise your vibration because they're in the higher planes of existence. You're still in the first dimension of the physical, which is the lowest. Okay. So you want to raise your vibe, which is why I mention opening your heart in love. So if you want to see them, it's very possible. And the other thing about dreams is that you can have these very incredible prognostic dreams that tell you events to come. Now, it's up to you to interpret them right. So you might have a dream of betrayal, that someone's doing something that is betrayal to you, but you don't want to believe it. So you write it down and then you don't actually see it happen until 6 months or a year later. But that was your dream warning you that something was happening. My grandmother, when I was pregnant with one of my children, visited me and told me that I had a certain mineral deficiency during this pregnancy. And so I thought, I trust that. So I started taking that mineral and eventually had a test that showed that I was deficient. So just listening to that guidance in the inner for me was extremely useful, and it helped me to have a better pregnancy. So there's so many things that can happen in so many ways we get guidance. Another thing that occurs if you wish, as an Eckist, which is a spiritual path, you can be in any religion and still sign up or, like learn about Eckankar. Okay. So I am able to mitigate my karma in the dream state where my soul is experiencing things that I might have done to someone else. Because everything we do comes back to us as if it knew the way, because it does. That's the law of karma. Check out my spiritual laws of life videos. I have, I think, about 70 or something like that. Anyway, the law of karma dictates that, if you do something to someone, you're going to have to experience it so that you learn the lesson that maybe you shouldn't do that to someone again. So, you never have to wonder if karma is coming back, because it always is. But doing the mitigation of karma in the dream state is far easier. I was once at an Eckankar seminar worldwide in Minnesota, and I asked the current living Eck master, the inner guide, that I would really like to please mitigate some karma, massive. I actually used the word massive amount of karma that evening. And I went to sleep, and I had a 3-part dream experience where I was the victim of something that I had done many lifetimes ago. So we're eternal. So we've been the hero, the villain. We've done all sorts of good and negative things. Okay, positive and negative. The goal is neutrality with love, but we've been both. We've been everything. So I woke up, I did a yoga nidra from Ali Boothroyd. I chanted the hue for a while. I went back to sleep, and it continued in a 3-part series. I woke up again, and finally it ended. And then I felt very released of some pain that I had carried that I wasn't even aware of where it was from, but then I had an understanding. You also might have dreams that are past life dreams. So you've gone to the causal plane. The third plane is the causal plane, where the Akashic records are that store all of your past lives. And in that plane, you can see what your past lives were. And it might also show you why it is that some people that you meet just you just have a really negative vibe with. Maybe you'll see why. Maybe they were horrible to you in a past life. And then in the other way, you might see, oh, that's why I love that person so much. You will remember certain things, and that's really healing too. It can help you understand why maybe you had a relationship with someone, familial or romantic or otherwise, friendship, that or coworker that just was really hard for you. Okay? But knowing again that we are all soul doing this and working towards becoming, more of what we really are, which is love, will help you to realize that, we're eternal, and we are pretty much doing the best we can at the level of conscious awareness that we have attained. So, again, dreams have so many wonderful benefits that I could talk about it for hours, but I ask you to consider starting to record these things. And then the most important thing for me, at least, is I transfer them into a journal. I have so many at this point. Then I do an interpretation or impression of what the dream meant. And it's so incredible that if you look back, you will find themes that you can work on in your life. And you can also reread old ones. And then you'll say, oh my gosh, that is exactly what happened a year later. Like, exactly. So writing the dreams down it's very useful, because the more that you write them down, the more you're going to start to trust the messages and interpret them more appropriately. So I do not buy into the Freudian or other dream interp um, being, the end all and be all. I think that we as soul are individual, unique sparks of God, and we're like individual in the sense that every snowflake is different, so is every soul. So for me, for instance, I absolutely adore parrots. So I just have this love of birds. Okay. So someone might say, well, the parrot means, it's I don't know, it has the bird's eye view. Okay. Yeah. But for me, they're also something different. They're full of, light and color and just they're just wonderful. I just love parrots. So I might even get one again. But anyhow, the point is that you have to interpret your own dream symbology and not rely on what those books say, because the books might have a little bit of accuracy for you, you know, but for the most part, you're going to be your best interpreter, not those books. You are the one who knows you as soul. So always rely and count on your own symbols. For instance, let's see, for baggage, are you carrying a suitcase around? What does that mean to you? It could mean that you're carrying too much of your stuff. You need to lighten your load, or it could mean that you want to travel, or it could mean that you want to have a new residence. It could mean a gazillion things, but you are the one who's going to interpret it the best. So always remember that. And you can also even consider writing down symbols that keep coming up and doing an interp of what you actually think they mean. So there's so much juice in your dream experiences, and they really are travels to the other dimensions. So your soul leaves your body when you sleep every time, okay? And that's not scary. Your body's still alive. You're just traveling to different places. So there's the physical, astral, causal, mental, etheric, and then the love and above, fifth dimension and above. But there's like 150 plus different realms within just the astral. There's so many different levels you can go to. I personally find that when I'm in nature, I'm in the higher realms. So again, individual, but there could be a commonality there. So I would love to hear if you guys do any of this and if you have any tricks to remembering. There is one more where you can put your dreams into, or you can put your dreams into a golden chalice next to your bed, and then you can drink from the cup in the morning. So you can imagine that your dreams are all going in there, and then you take a sip from it, and that it can help some people to remember as well. All right, you guys have a beautiful day.